Okay. I am going to try, to the best of my abilities, to explain the basics of this game. In general, Blackjack is not a difficult game. It can be learned within minutes, but this makes it harder with all of the currently added rules. So, I'll try to play and explain my moves currently. So, when the round starts, everyone gets 2 cards. This card is called a hush card. Hold on 1 second. This is called a hush card. The opponent cannot see this card. That's their hush card right there. I can't see that. So all that I see is the 7. Now, because my hush card is a 10, and I got a 9 on top of that, that equals a 19 out of 21. Which means if I were to draw a card, it's very unlikely I would get a card that is low enough to get a perfect 21. So therefore, we're going to pass the turn. Now, they just drew an 11. If we're assuming that their hush card is a low card, that would mean that they would either have a 19, a 20, or a 21, which means they would have to have a 1, a 2, or a 3. If they don't have a 1, 2, or 3, then that means they are over, and therefore I would automatically win. Considering it's a low chance they do have a 1, 2, or 3, we're still going to pass, and we're going to assume that they are also going to pass. Now, they did have a low card in this case. So I got a 19, they got a 20, which means I lose that round. See this counter up here? It adds up to 14. I'm at a 9. If I lose this, I get 2 points added to that, which would get me at 11. If I get to 14, I lose. Now, our new set of cards, an 8 and a 4, that's a 12. So, because that's low enough to draw, we're going to draw a card. Now, they have an 11 now. Assuming that they have a 1, that would be a perfect 21, but it's a very low chance that they do. So, because I have a 14, I'm going to draw. That gives me a 5. Now I'm at a 19 out of 21. I'm going to stay. They just used a return trump card. What that does is it returns the card you just draw out of a deck. So if you drew a card that's too high, that gets you over 21, that card allows you to return it. Now we're gonna stay. Yeah. So because I had a 19 out of 21 and they had a 16, that's higher, so I won that round. Okay, right off the bat, we have a good hand, 19 out of 21. We don't need to draw for that, but what I am going to do is take a look at our current trump cards. They're cards that can either help us or take advantage of our enemy. Now, what they have, assuming they have a low or high card, that would be maybe an 8 or above. So what these do, they can destroy currently active trump cards. We can give ourselves 2 trump cards as well as them, or we could choose specific cards out of the deck to draw, like a 7, or in this case a 5. Because they already have a 7, we can't use that. But we could use that 5, but because we don't need it, we're not going to. No. Now, if they're staying, there's a high chance they either have a 10 or below as their hush card. And because I have an 11, even if they do have a 10, that would either mean that we draw, we tie, or we win. But no, they're going to continue that. All right. Now, there's a really low chance right now that they're going to win that. So let's see what the bot will do. Yeah, returned the trump card because it was too high. Yep. Because we were closer to 21, we beat them in that round. Now the counter is more towards them. We have a 4, they have a 10. This round, if we win, we'll give 4 points to them, meaning that if we win, they will die this round. So we have an 11, it's pretty low. If we look here, we could draw a 7, 5, or a 3, but they already have a 5, so we can't use that. And we already have the 7. We don't need a 3, so we're just going to draw. What they just use is a exchange card. Now, they most likely did that because their hush card is a 10. Now, what we could do is raise the bet to 24. And then we could draw on the off chance that we get a higher score than them. And if they did have a ton, that would mean that they are now way over and we are just barely under there. Oh, there we go. A tie. See, because we tied, that bet just increased from a 4 to a 5. I'm just gonna keep playing until the round ends. Yeah, that's basically how you play in summary.